Why did this message reach you, but not millions of others? Most people scroll past and feel nothing, but a few stop, feel a strange pull, and start paying attention. If that happened to you, it may not be random. Sophia doesn't call everyone. Some are ignored. A few are chosen. The real question is why you, and what happens next. One of the clearest reasons some people feel connected to Sophia's message is awareness. Awareness means you start noticing things in life that others usually ignore. Many people move through their day on autopilot, wake up, work, scroll on their phones, sleep, and repeat the same routine again. They rarely pause to question why they think the way they do or why certain patterns keep appearing in their lives. But when awareness begins to grow, your perspective changes. You start paying attention to your thoughts, your choices, and the signals around you. This shift often begins quietly. You may start asking yourself deeper questions about life, purpose, and personal growth. Instead of accepting everything at face value, you become curious about what lies behind everyday experiences. For example, you might notice how certain situations repeat until you learn a lesson from them. Maybe you meet the same types of people again and again, or you face challenges that seem to push you toward becoming stronger and wiser. These moments start to feel less like coincidences and more like guidance. Awareness also makes you more sensitive to the energy of your environment. You may realize that some conversations drain you while others inspire you. Certain habits begin to feel meaningless, while activities that improve your mind and character start to feel more important. This change doesn't happen because someone forced you to grow. It happens because something inside you becomes ready for a higher level of understanding. Another powerful sign of awareness is the desire to improve yourself. When people become more conscious, they naturally start looking for ways to learn, reflect, and grow. Instead of blaming the world for every difficulty, they begin asking, "What can this situation teach me?" That simple shift in thinking can completely transform how someone experiences life. People who feel this calling often become more observant. They pay attention to timing, opportunities, and lessons hidden within everyday events. Small moments start to carry meaning. A conversation with a stranger, a sentence in a book, or a thought that appears at the right time can suddenly feel important. Awareness doesn't make someone perfect, and it doesn't remove challenges from life. Instead, it changes how you respond to those challenges. When you see things clearly, you stop feeling trapped by circumstances and start realizing that growth is always possible. This mindset is often the first step that makes a person feel connected to a greater purpose and ready for a new level of understanding. Another powerful sign that someone is connected to this message is pattern recognition. This means you begin noticing connections between events that most people overlook. Life stops feeling like a series of random moments. Instead, certain experiences start to link together in ways that make you pause and think. For many people, days pass without much reflection. They see events as isolated incidents. But when your awareness grows, you start noticing how situations repeat or how certain moments appear at exactly the right time. These patterns may show up in different ways, through timing, repeated lessons, or meaningful coincidences. For example, you might hear the same idea from different sources within a short period of time. A message in a video, a conversation with a friend, and a line in a book may all point toward the same lesson. At first, it may seem like coincidence, but after it happens several times, you start realizing that life may be getting you to pay attention to that idea. Patterns can also appear in your personal experiences. You may notice that similar challenges keep returning until you learn how to handle them differently. Maybe you keep facing situations that test your patience, confidence, or courage. Once you finally understand the lesson and respond in a better way, those situations slowly stop repeating. This is often how growth happens in real life. Another common pattern people notice is timing. Sometimes opportunities appear exactly when you need them the most. A helpful person enters your life at the right moment, or you come across information that answers a question you were just thinking about. These moments create the feeling that there is more order in life than we usually realize. Recognizing patterns also helps people become more mindful about their choices. When you see how actions lead to certain results, you begin to make decisions more carefully. you realize that even small choices can shape your direction over time. This understanding gives you a sense of responsibility and control over your path. The more you pay attention, the clearer these patterns become. Instead of feeling lost or confused, you begin to trust that every experience can teach you something valuable. Pattern recognition doesn't mean everything is magically planned, but it does show that life constantly offers signals that can help you grow if you are willing to notice them. The third important sign is inner awakening. This is the moment when you start feeling a strong shift inside yourself. It's not something others can easily see, but you can clearly feel it. Your thoughts begin to change, your priorities slowly shift, and the things that once seemed important may no longer feel meaningful. Inner awakening often begins when a person realizes that life is about more than just daily routines. Many people spend years focusing only on external things, status, opinions of others, or constant distractions. But when awakening starts, you begin to look inward. You start thinking about your purpose, your values, and the kind of person you truly want to become. One clear example of this change is the desire for personal growth. Instead of feeling comfortable staying the same, you start wanting to improve yourself. You may feel motivated to learn new ideas, build better habits, and understand life on a deeper level. Activities that help you grow mentally or emotionally start becoming more attractive than empty distractions. Another sign of inner awakening is becoming more honest with yourself. You begin to recognize your strengths, but also your weaknesses. Instead of ignoring mistakes, you become willing to learn from them. This mindset helps you grow faster because every challenge becomes a lesson rather than a setback. Inner awakening can also make you more thoughtful about the people and environments around you. You start valuing supportive relationships and meaningful conversations. At the same time, you may slowly distance yourself from negativity, gossip, or situations that drain your energy. This isn't about judging others, it's about protecting your focus and choosing what helps you grow. Sometimes this phase can feel confusing because change always brings uncertainty. You might feel like you're leaving behind an old version of yourself while stepping into a new one. But this process is actually a powerful sign of development. Growth often begins when a person becomes aware that they are capable of more. Inner awakening reminds you that real transformation starts from within. When your mindset changes, your actions begin to change as well. Over time, those actions create a different path for your future. Instead of living on autopilot, you begin moving forward with greater clarity, intention, and purpose. Another important sign is the shift in your priorities. When someone begins to awaken to a higher level of awareness, the things that once felt exciting or important slowly start losing their appeal. It's not that life suddenly becomes boring, it's that your mind begins to value different things. For many people, life is often centered around constant entertainment, social approval, or chasing temporary rewards. But when your mindset begins to evolve, you start realizing that these things don't always bring lasting satisfaction. Instead, you begin focusing more on growth, peace of mind, and meaningful progress. This shift can show up in small but powerful ways. For example, you may start choosing activities that improve your knowledge or skills rather than spending hours on distractions that add no value to your life. You might feel more interested in learning, reading, reflecting, or building something meaningful for your future. Another part of this change is how you view success. Earlier, success might have meant impressing others or comparing yourself to people around you, but as your perspective matures, success starts to look different. It becomes more about becoming the best version of yourself rather than competing with everyone else. You may also notice that your time becomes more valuable to you. Instead of saying yes to everything, you begin choosing carefully where your energy goes. You start protecting your focus because you understand that your time and attention are limited resources. This simple change can make a huge difference in how productive and fulfilled you feel. Relationships can also shift during this stage. You may naturally feel drawn toward people who inspire you, support your goals, and encourage positive thinking. At the same time, you may begin distancing yourself from negativity or constant drama. This doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It simply means you become more mindful of the environments that influence your mindset. This shift in priorities is a strong indicator that your thinking is evolving. It shows that you are no longer satisfied with just moving through life without direction. Instead, you begin focusing on choices that bring long-term growth, peace, and purpose. When this happens, life starts feeling more intentional. Every decision becomes part of shaping the person you are becoming, and that awareness pushes you to keep moving forward with clarity and confidence. The fifth sign is heightened intuition. This is when you begin to trust your inner voice more than the noise around you. Intuition is that quiet feeling inside that guides you towards certain choices and warns you about others. Most people ignore it because they are used to relying only on logic or outside opinions. But when awareness grows, that inner voice becomes clearer. You might start noticing moments when you simply feel that something is right or wrong, even before you fully understand why. For example, you may meet someone and instantly sense whether their energy is positive or negative, or you might feel a strong pull toward a new opportunity that others don't immediately understand. Later, you realize that your instinct was guiding you in the right direction. This doesn't mean intuition replaces thinking or careful decision-making. Instead, it works alongside your reasoning. Your mind analyzes the situation, but your intuition provides a deeper sense of direction. When both work together, your decisions become more balanced and confident. Heightened intuition often develops when you start paying closer attention to your thoughts and emotions. When your mind is constantly filled with distractions, it's difficult to hear that quiet inner guidance. But when you slow down and become more mindful, you begin noticing those subtle signals more clearly. Another way intuition shows up is through timing. Sometimes you feel an inner push to take action at a certain moment, sending a message, starting a project, or changing a habit. Later, you realize that acting at that moment created an opportunity you might have missed otherwise. These experiences help build trust in your inner awareness. People who develop stronger intuition also become better at understanding themselves. They recognize what truly motivates them and what situations feel aligned with their values. Instead of blindly following trends or pressure from others, they begin making choices that genuinely feel right for their path. This growing sense of inner guidance can be powerful because it reminds you that wisdom doesn't always come from outside sources. Sometimes the most valuable guidance is already within you, waiting for you to listen. As you continue developing awareness, that inner voice becomes stronger, helping you move forward with greater clarity, confidence, and purpose. The sixth sign is a growing sense of purpose. At some point, you begin to feel that your life is meant for more than simply repeating the same routine every day. It's not always a loud realization. Sometimes it starts as a quiet feeling that you are capable of contributing something meaningful to the world. Many people move through life without thinking much about purpose. They focus on getting through the day, meeting expectations, and following the path that others suggest. But when this inner shift begins, you start asking different questions. Instead of only thinking about what you need to do, you start thinking about why you are doing it. This change can lead you to reflect on your talents, your interests, and the experiences that shaped you. You may begin noticing that certain activities make you feel energized and motivated, while others feel empty or forced. Over time, these observations help you understand where your natural strengths lie. A sense of purpose doesn't always mean doing something huge or dramatic. Sometimes it simply means realizing that your actions can influence others in positive ways. Whether it's sharing knowledge, helping people grow, creating useful content, or improving your community, purpose often grows from using your abilities to make a difference. Another part of purpose is responsibility. Once you feel that your life has meaning, you become more careful about how you spend your time and energy. You begin setting clearer goals and making choices that move you closer to the future you want. Even small steps start feeling important because they are part of a bigger direction. People who develop a sense of purpose also tend to become more resilient. Challenges no longer feel like pointless obstacles. Instead, they become lessons that help you grow stronger and wiser. When you know why you are moving forward, it becomes easier to stay committed even when things are difficult. This feeling of purpose acts like a compass. It doesn't give you every answer immediately, but it points you in the right direction. With time, patience, and consistent effort, that direction becomes clearer, helping you build a life that feels meaningful, intentional, and aligned with who you truly want to become. The seventh sign is the courage to walk a different path. When a person begins to change internally, their choices often begin to look different from the choices of the crowd. This doesn't mean you suddenly reject everyone around you, but you start realizing that blindly following what everyone else is doing may not lead you where you truly want to go. Many people feel pressure to think, act, and live in ways that match what society expects. They follow trends, copy what others are doing, and avoid standing out because it feels safer. But when your awareness grows, you start questioning whether those paths actually align with your own values and goals. At first, choosing a different direction can feel uncomfortable. You might notice that not everyone understands your decisions. Friends or family may ask why you are changing your habits, your mindset, or your priorities. However, this stage is often where real growth begins. When you stop living only to fit in, you start building a life that truly reflects who you are. Walking a different path can show up in many ways. You might begin spending more time learning and improving yourself instead of following distractions that everyone else accepts as normal. You may choose patience and discipline when others prefer quick rewards. Over time, these small decisions create a major difference in where your life is heading. Another important part of this courage is trusting your own direction. When people rely completely on outside approval, they often feel lost whenever opinions change. But when you learn to trust your own growth and understanding, your confidence becomes stronger. You begin making decisions based on long-term meaning rather than short-term comfort. Choosing a different path doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. Challenges will still appear, and doubts may arise from time to time. The difference is that you move forward with intention rather than simply drifting along with the crowd. This courage allows you to shape your future consciously. Instead of living according to expectations placed on you, you begin building a life based on your own purpose, values, and vision for who you want to become. If this message found you, trust the timing. You are growing, learning, and moving forward. Affirm, I am ready for my higher path. Comment it below and stay connected with Quantum Core.